everybody. Good morning. I'm Tara. I have the Regenerative Living School here in North Florida, and we're at my urban homestead in Jacksonville, Florida. We're sitting on the front porch right now, and we're going to talk about some of the summer herbs, medicinal and edible weeds that we have growing here in the front yard. It's a little bit of a jungle. I'm joined by my youngest son, Adrian. He loves the plants as well, and so he's going to talk about a few. So we'll get started. We'll go right over here, and I'll let Adrian start with our first plant. And let's see, let's get a good look at a nice flower that has bloomed right over here. So I'll let Adrian tell everybody about this plant. Adrian, what is that one called?
Passion flower.
Yeah, passion flower. What is your name for it?
The happy plant.
It's the happy plant. You want to eat some?
Sure.
Adrian likes to go around and just grab the leaves and gnaw them down. So passion flower is everywhere. It's a very common weed. This is Passiflora incarnata. It's our native passion flower to Florida. So this is a native plant. As you can see, it is very prolific. It will take over a garden very quickly, which we love here. Passion flower is such a wonderfully strong but yet gentle herb. People from all around the world cultivate this and buy it to make herbal preparations, and it's a native plant to Florida, and it grows everywhere here. People have it in their gardens everywhere here. The medicine is everywhere. So the Passiflora incarnata, the passion flower, is a nervine, so it's medicine for the nervous system. It's used for, we have a big truck going by. But it's used for nervousness, anxiety, insomnia. It's even used in preparations for epilepsy. It's used for nervous headaches. You can see the beautiful circular flower, and on an energetic level, some people even say that as far as the insomnia goes, it's used for what people call circular thinking when you're trying to go to sleep at night. So you keep circling back around, and you can't, quite digest mentally whatever you're trying to, and that's prohibiting you to go to sleep. Anyway, amazing medicine. Everybody needs nervines. Everybody needs to nourish their nervous system now more than ever. And this is just the most amazing medicine that's everywhere. And we need to look to the really prolific medicine that's everywhere nowadays, because people are buying all kinds of exotic herbs in health food stores that really to the detriment of the land, that's being over-cultivated, over-harvested, overused in the health food industry. And this is, again, it's native, it's everywhere. We need to look to the medicine that is very prolific, like the passion flower. All right, so let's move on. And well, we won't go over there for now. Let's go over here. Let's see. Alright, so we'll take a look at underneath this beautiful chaya. We'll look at this Phyllanthus. This is another common weed that we have everywhere in Florida. The common name for this plant is stonebreaker. And Adrian is showing us a native hibiscus flower. That's one of his favorites to eat as well. He munches on those. So Phyllanthus, aka stonebreaker, this is kidney medicine, and it gets its name stonebreaker because it does help to stop the growth of kidney stones. This also helps in bile production and the digestion of fats. So again, that's one of the things. Everybody needs some kidney love nowadays. So stonebreaker is a really great kidney medicine, especially for those who have more extreme cases with stones. Okay, let's see, what else? Oh, so you don't have to walk far to see really great medicine. Okay, Adrian, do you know what this one is called?
No.
No, but he loves to eat the flowers. That's the kids' favorite. They just like to eat the flowers of everything. So this is Biden's Alba. There are many different kinds of Biden's, but Biden's is this is a weed and slash medicine that is really native, and it's specific for this region in the Southeast. I don't think that it goes any higher than South Carolina. So this is like very special medicine for us in the Southeast. It is one of the strongest antibiotics that we have. Let's see, I could do an entire YouTube video just on this plant. It's so amazing. Adrian's trying to get the spent passion flower down. Okay, so Biden's, what do I want to say about this? Like I said, it's one of the strongest antibiotics we have, and someone that doesn't quite have a relationship so much with plants yet might think that that's a silly comment. Sure. And Adrian's like waiting to get to the next one that he loves. So in a day and age where we've had antibiotics, pharmacology is an amazing thing, and it saved many lives, and the discovery of penicillin and many other things where people were able to make antibiotics from it has been amazing. However, we've come to a time now where those bugs, those bacteria have been able to mutate to go around the antibiotics that we're using. So when antibiotics are made in pharmacology, they're taking one or two compounds or constituents out of certain plants, and then they're making the pharmaceuticals, they're making the antibiotics with them, which again has been amazing and has saved lives. But the bugs, the bacteria, have been able to mutate over time, and now we have antibiotic resistant bacteria. So when the whole plant is used, we're not just taking one or two compounds out of the plant, we're taking, the plant has hundreds. The plant has, depending on the kind of plant, it has typically, you know, anywhere from 50 to hundreds of compounds, and the bacteria can't mutate around all of those. They just can't. It's too many, and they're not able to mutate. So especially in today's day and age, where we now have antibiotic resistant bacteria, this is crucial. More and more people are finding out about it. This is effective against systemic bacteria. So it's effective against influenza. It's effective against respiratory conditions that are stemming from a bacterial infection. And this goes into all of my elderberry syrup. It goes in, I've treated so many people with this plant alone. And this plant also effectively treats MRSA. The studies have been done, the trials have been done. I have never treated anybody for MRSA with this plant, but I have treated people with other staph infections with this plant, and had 100% results, completely cleared it up with this plant alone. It's incredible. I can't speak highly enough about Biden's. It's just, and you know, farmers spend good money trying to get rid of this plant. People spray Roundup everywhere trying to get rid of this plant. It's another one of those wonderful weeds that is very prolific. It's everywhere, and so people try to get rid of it because it's a nuisance to them because it's so prolific. But again, we need to look at the medicines that are so prolific. They're everywhere. They're like screaming out at us, like you need this medicine. And it's also food, so this is a good pot herb. When I'm not tincturing it to make medicines, which the tincture form of the fresh leaves is the most potent, not dried leaves. But when I'm not tincturing it for medicine for people, we're harvesting it and we're putting the greens in with other cooked greens that we use. So it's that pot herb, like collard greens or mustard greens or anything like that. All right, enough about Bidens. Let's see. Oh, we can just go right over here for just a second. I just want to talk about this beautiful little flower. Many people down here in Florida, everybody calls them dandelions. They're not dandelions. They're not the true dandelion. They don't hold the medicinal properties that true dandelions have, but they are still edible, and they're good to, pick the flowers, and some people will make wine with them. They're good to make wine with the flowers, or just toss them in salad, or baked goods, or anything, or just let your kids go and munch on them. Okay, let's see. Adrian would like to go down here for a moment. It's bitter though. It's very bitter. Adrian wants to talk about do you know what that's called, Adrian? Mm-hmm. What is it called? Spiderwort. So we actually talked about spiderwort in the last video. So if you didn't see it, look up our last video. It was like a late winter, early spring weed walk. And we did talk about spiderwort. It's this beautiful purple flower. Again, very, very prolific. Spreads like wildfire. You can see all of the purple leaves out here, and that's nothing. Earlier this summer, this entire patch was covered in spiderwort, and Adrian is hopping up and down and screaming, "Tomato, tomato!" So this whole patch was spiderwort and tomato plants, and then corn. And now, as late summer is here, the spiderwort is starting to die down. But yeah, check out that other video and look up, or check out the spiderwort. Okay, I think we have one more. Tomato, tomato, but we're not going to talk about annual vegetables today. Okay, so Adrian, do you want to tell them about what this is? So I'll let Adrian show you. All right.
This is a cucumber.
It's a cucumber.
It's a wild one.
Yeah, that's a wild native cucumber. And if you look down at the ground, this is another one that most people would recognize if, if you're ever in an area that's not just sod. It looks kind of like a baby ivy of sorts. I think that anybody that's not familiar with it might look at the leaves and liken it to ivy. So it's a really nice ground cover, and it's a vine, so it'll creep up or it'll completely cover the ground. And did you get a bitter one? Sometimes they're bitter, but if you kind of dig around in the mat, right now they're not so hard to see. A little earlier in the summer, this was much thicker with all of the plants, and you had to lift the mat up to see any of the cucumbers. But anyway, they're pretty visible right now. This is these aren't medicinal, but like we said, it's our local cucumber. So this is good wild food, and because it's so hot, and these are pretty much in full sun. They're bitter right now, but they're so small that if you sprinkle them in a salad or something, you just get the hints, the little pops of bitterness, and it's not so bad. But it's cool because my annual cucumbers have pretty much gone out of season. It's too hot here in Florida for the annuals now, but we still have tons of our native cucumbers everywhere.
Mom.
And they have these tiny little yellow flowers that are great bee forage as well.
Mom, can you talk about Alba
Sure, maybe in a different video.
now? No, why?
Okay,
Mom,
so
talk about...
we'll talk about aloe some other time. So
No.
that's gonna conclude our weed walk. These are all really common weeds in the Southeast. And if you will take a look around my yard again, and we'll be back for different plants, but the gardens are full of weeds, and they're all medicine, and they're all food, and they're all food for pollinators, and it brings a lot of joy and health and happiness into our lives. So let the weeds grow. See you next time.